My name's Anthony Pasquarello. I topped Yu-Gi-Oh! Nationals in 2011 and 3 YCSs back-to-back in 2012. Although I stopped playing in 2013, I've rediscovered my passion for the game through older formats and love sharing ideas about how to play. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Masterclass. I'm by no means a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master. What's going on, duelists? Welcome back to my tournament run of Devastators 3. We are 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, going into round 6. This is the final round of day 1, and then 2 rounds on Sunday, so need a win here, otherwise we are as good as done. X-Lane is a friend of ours, and he's actually said that to me before, I think the day before we played, so yeah, always happy to see a familiar face, and unfortunately someone, it's pretty much win or go home here, so unfortunately one of us has to go. But fortunately for us, we're going first. So swap frog, pitch the Treeborn, and then upstart. We don't want to draw that Treeborn, especially since we already have one in our hand. And right off the rip, we see Black Whirlwind and a Shura. The really best you could see with an empty board, right? 2 back row on top of it. So, alright, we gotta work it out for us, right? This is what we want to get rid of 100%. We do have to be careful with our Treeborns. And he elected to get Blizzard, and I think that's important. We look at their back row, is an Icarus, which doesn't really hurt this deck too much, and he has a Nobleman, which is going to do nothing against us but confuse us the whole game, being a face down. So I Soul Exchange, and I'm going back to back right now. I just recorded round 5, now I'm recording round 6, and I think to myself, instead of Treeborn coming back, tribute Treeborn for Caius, I could remove the Shura and get Bottomless. I could remove it, get Torrential, and he has Blizzard. I could remove the Whirlwind. I opt to Soul Exchange his Shura for Caius. Maybe the thought process here is that he's going to summon Blizzard Goyo, Treeborn's going to come back, I'm going to summon Dark Dust or set Dark Dust and blow up everything. I didn't need to use Soul Exchange right there. I could have just tributed this for Caius. Caius, get rid of the Whirlwind, but he took Blizzard with Whirlwind when he summoned, kind of telegraphing he might have a Kalut or a Boar already. And there he is, or she. Not really sure what Kalut is, but we have a Blizzard that he took in the Icarus. So them not getting started with this is pretty good, but now they're giving us information. I think a good play right there could have been, I guess they could do the Goyo play, but if we have another Monarch, we just remove the Goyo and attack, and they have to play kind of specifically because they have double Icarus and no real protection for attacks. So they're just going to bump up to 32, hit us for 800, get a Vayu. And they pass. They leave Vayu on the field, telegraphing an Icarus a little bit. And I think Dark Dust is looking pretty good right here. If they have Starlight Road, we're just in a ton of trouble. But he's going to Icarus target his own Shura and the Dark Dust to get it off the field. So we went first. We have 5 to their 4, and we have a Treeborn engraved, which is nice. And now maybe we're looking to Duplock next turn. We haven't tried to special summon anything yet, so we still don't know what this is. And now that we're seeing a Blizzard come out, we're thinking maybe he's trying to get that done now before he flips his own Oppression. And now that he gets Armed Wing, which is nice, he has the Vayu engraved, so he can't make Armor Master, and we're just drawing a lot of frogs. And now frogs are no bueno here, right? They have another Icarus attack set. They had a Drabora. Normally I don't go to my opponent's hand, but I'm just kind of curious right now to see what their thought process was at points. So I have to go for this, right? There's really no way around it. I have to try to Duplock if he has Oppression. I can't really win. What am I going to do? This is brought out the right way, so he's going to pierce me every turn. I'm going to lose anyway. So, via dual blocking, yeah, and Pot of Avarice, yeah, put some Monarchs and good monsters back, yeah. Leaving is a Treeborn. We get Gores. Gores, okay, we're going a little quick. Sorry. Dupe Block, Pot of Avarice, draw Gores and a Fader. Great cards to draw. I'm at 31, so I gotta be a little careful. My opponent draws and summons Dark Refer, pitching Bora. Now, I think it sends a Vayu. Now, I don't think that's very necessary. Maybe he's thinking to Icarus tribute this and let me get some frogs and stuff and then remove that and get a 25 and push for game. I will get a Gores off in that case, and he'll be in a lot of trouble with no Kalut bluff or anything in his hand. But he just passes. So that's an interesting play to me. We top deck Econ, that's fantastic. We do still want to be careful. We're still just waiting. We want to be careful of Icarus, and we're still just waiting for a Monarch. Preferably Caius to get this, or Ryza to get this off of the field, but it's never really going to go where we want it to go as long as they have an Icarus attack set. So we got to think about this for a sec. We're just going to set Book and Pass, and I think that's fine. We don't want to go minus by discarding a card, although we could discard the Treeborn if we wanted. The Ennoblement of Extermination, that's been set there the whole time. Probably could have made that read, but again, are we going to just go -1 and pitch the Treeborn or make them use a card? So I book my Frog, which the scenario won't change too much, but if we do lose our Treeborn, then if this stays in defense mode because they can't attack, then we will be able to have 2 Treeborns on the field, one face up, one face down. So they use Greffer again, send Sirocco to send Sirocco, and now they're going full send. Gonna get some Froggies. They're really playing super aggressively right now. They have the Vayu stuff in the graveyard. This is the hybrid build. Looks like 3 Greffer, 3 Vayu. And this is the one with piercing, I believe, so we're taking 2,700 damage. So we can't even drop the Gores, which sucks. But we can preserve the game with Fader and even tribute their monster if we econ take 1 tribute with Gores. So I'm a little confused at this point because I'm used to Armed Wing never having its actual effect. They go for game, we have Fader, thank goodness. And now their board is pretty shot. I mean, look at all the cards we have. They used all their resources just to... they used Greffer pitch cards to make Vayu stuff to tribute to get Dupe Frogs off the field that got cards back for us. They really went like as minus as they possibly could to just try to end the game, which isn't bad if it's game, but knowing this deck has Fader, I mean... Are they just going to sit and let me draw cards, you know, until I draw a Monarch? Maybe. But they don't. We're at 400 to their 9,000. So I think we want to start doing something here. Maybe, you know, Gores in attack mode doesn't seem bad. There are definitely a ton of ways we could lose this game still. And having both of these on the field is a little dangerous. I don't think I want to leave anything on the field in case they top deck a Bora and just win. This deck sometimes only plays 2 Boras, the hybrid, and Gale is also going to hurt a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if I econned Battle Fader and took this and tributed both for Gores and attacked. I'm actually going to Soul Exchange. And I set the Gores. Alright, I guess that makes sense because now we could set the econ in case they top deck something. Actually, I like that play a lot, and I'm a little disappointed in myself that I didn't see it right now. I didn't want to go so minus. We could have distributed both for Gores, attack the Greffer, and pass like after setting the econ. I think that is probably what I would have said right now is the optimal play. As long as we have Gores to run over one monster and an Econ for protection, I think we're good. But we put the Gores in defense mode, we use the Soul Exchange, and opponent top decks a Greffer. They bring out Armor Master. They summon another Greffer, so we feel fine right now. They can't kill us. And all their Vayus are gone. They get that off the field. It's good. Okay, Gores looking good. Heavy looking pretty bad. I could play patient here, right? I don't need to econ and do anything wild. All I have to do is just Gores start. Do what it do, I guess. Finally get some damage on him. I set Treeborn. Iffy. But because of that, now we look like a friggin' god. Because they go to attack us for game, and we're actually just going to Tribute Frog and take our Gores back. So they might have thought they had it here, but in the end phase, they would get their card back and get my card back. So now we're in a pretty good spot. Maybe the unnecessary Cold Wave right here. Yes, I like setting the Frog a lot right there. With the econ, I don't know if I was accounting for that when I did that. And this happened about 2 weeks ago now, so I'm a little not on frogs and a little rusty. I'm in a Blackwing. I'm in a Blackwing mindset right now. That's what I've been testing. I'm not sure if I'm going to use the damn things, but it's a pretty damn good deck. Deck Devastation vibes. Really, sometimes just flip the card the whole damn game finish. So, try Cold Wave. Do we need to Cold Wave? I don't know. Swing over a Greffer. They drew an Upstart. They can't even use it. That's great. They got nothing in the grave. They're turning that to defense mode. And great card to see. We're okay to summon Swap Frog. That deck doesn't play Gores. I'm going for damage right now. Look at the damage, dude. Are you kidding me? Just for 2,000? We're going Soul Minus for 2,000? Bounce him back and pass. Now we see the Upstart Goblin, and that's nice to see because a little bit of life. And they have two really bad cards. They just came at the worst possible time, especially because I have Heavy and Treeborn. And we're going to check for Torrential that's not in there, and that would hurt if it was a Torrential, so I don't even know if we want to bring Treeborn back. We don't. We go straight for the Heavy. They can't Solemn because then they take 27 and lose, so they have to let this go. I think we're okay to swing for 37 with a Frog and a Gores, bounce it back. Next turn, Caius, whatever for game. Wow. So this was one that needed to be played pretty precisely. I think our opponent played it extremely aggressively at points. Fader got us to where we needed to get. Wow, another really right on time card. But yeah, Frog's got us where we needed to be. Faders hung us in there, and we were just trying very hard to not lose to simple Blackwing things, which the top deck brain control, the pierce damage, summoning Gale or special summoning it and having and just attacking for a game. Once Blackwings get you so low, it's really dangerous. So I think we tried to do everything we could there to be extra particular and make sure that we weren't going to lose to anything like that. And I think we sequenced it pretty well, and I'm happy looking back on how I played that actually. So let me talk and babble while we were looking at a side deck screen. Sorry. This is okay. They set one and pass. That's great to see as a Frog player against Blackwings. Kind of shows us they probably have Sirocco. Now we have options, right? Do we want a Cold Wave? No, we're okay to probably not Cold Wave. If it's Oppression, that's unfortunate. But I don't want to waste my Cold Wave just yet because I probably want to get a plus off the Caius. So I'll swing for 1,000 with Swap Frog. They Mirror Force the Swap Frog, which, that's questionable, right? I'm not going to look at their hand. I don't want to know. They summon Vayu and swing. And now this gets interesting because if I... Oh, 2 back row, okay. If I Cold Wave now, which I don't really want to do, then they could chain Icarus and they get Vayu in the graveyard. So the play is probably just tribute Treeborn Frog and remove this. And if it's Torrential, it's Torrential. But if it's Icarus, they have to go minus. And I'm not going to show you guys what it is. We're going to find out the hard way. If it's pulling the rug, we're in trouble too. But that goes through. That's nice. That's nice. And they take the 24. Okay, okay. We could set book here. I don't know if we need to. I think we'd rather have Frog come back next turn. And there's a Cyber Dragon. There is a Shura. And just like that, they turn it around. And now we're looking in a little bit of trouble all of a sudden, right? I mean, we have Cold Wave Dark Dust, which is good. We still don't know what their back rows are, but if they synchro with the Cyber Dragon, then they have an Armed Wing on the field. I don't know, they can't make Armed Wing and Cyber Dragon. But that would... Can they? 1, 9, 2... Oh, they can. Oh, it's just generic. Wow, that's nice. Alright. Shows what I know, right? You guys are watching this. Yeah, so now they have an Armed Wing and a Vayu engraved. Just kidding, you want to watch this. This is where the good stuff is. So we bring back Treeborn. I think now it's probably safe to Cold Wave Dark Dust Spirit, but then next turn they're going to swing for 25. We don't have to Fader, but they smartly Icarus attack and chain. So now Cold Wave has happened, right? There it is. Now I can't Soul Exchange this for setting Dark Dust. You can't really do anything. I could set Dupe Frog if I want and take some more damage. I could do nothing and special summon Fader. That play hurts us a lot, the fact that they did have the Icarus attack. So we just had the Dupe Frog. They just summon, or they just swing rather, I'm sorry. Gets us a Swappa. And they pass. Alright, Brain Control not helping us a ton right here. Dark Dust doesn't seem bad. Just Dark Dust and attack and have a Fader and some protection. But it looks like I'm again going to play extra defensively, knowing that they're going to have 25 or an Armor Master coming out. The set Nobleman of Extermination left it in the main deck in Game 2 against Frogs is a little confusing if they're not setting in Vanity's Fiend, but maybe they did, and maybe that's just big brain play. There's a Cyber Dragon over Dark Dust Spirit. I'm spinning a little bit. That's fine by us. They went first. They have 2 to our 5. Don't have another Treeborn ready to come out. That would have been pretty nice. But Treeborn right now in face down defense is a little scary because Shura's and Bora's and we're getting kind of low. So this is still a losable game even though we have Fader. I'm just going to do what I do with Frog. There's a Blizzard. Yeah, how nervous are we looking now, right? There is a pierced Armed Wing, and that is the game. That's all it took. Top deck Blizzard and that Frog, just like I said 10 seconds ago, being in defense mode on the field, hurt us more than it helped us because we couldn't drop Fader. We couldn't do anything but take all the damage in the world. So now I see a pretty good hand. We're going to get a Treeborn engraved turn 1. We're going to have some Faders, so we're going to have the Stalos play, which is always pretty plus unless they have pulling the rug. Add Treeborn Frog to my hand. Just kidding, doesn't work like that. And so right off the rip, look at the aggression. Pitch Sirocco, special summon Greffer, dump Vayu to dump another Vayu. Sometimes the deck just plays like that. And he doesn't attack. I don't have the Gores until right now when I draw it. But let's see. Let's think about it now, right? Sirocco, Bora, Dashut. So he drew a crap ton of monsters. And I think in this situation, most Vayu players I've seen, even though this is a hybrid, will tend to go for 4,000. And I guess I could just fade her right there or Soul Exchange the Stalos. Treeborn's going to come back, Soul Exchange, tribute that, and Treeborn for Gores. Like, I'm pretty covered. I'm pretty covered right here. But he's in a Dashut. Now, he's a scary graveyard, but a really unintimidating field. And he puts the Stalos back. I think that's the right play. And that kind of slows us down a little bit, right? So I just leave Treeborn and I pass. He knows we have Gores, so he's not going to just straight up attack into that until he's covered. But he does have the Bora, which sucks. So we're still taking damage. We're still taking 16, and now we got to think, hopefully we draw something good. And how convenient, while my opponent has two 1,700 monsters on the field, we draw a card that lets us take one of them. And I think that's just what we're going to do. And I'm thinking, do I want to bring Treeborn back again? This time it probably would have been okay. I'm going to play it defensively because I know how explosive this deck is. Even though I have two Battle Faders and a Gores, I don't bring the Treeborn back. I don't summon Swap Frog and swing. I simply Econ, bang out, and set Dupe Frog. And this is one where you could combat that, I think. And it maybe say go for a little damage. But I'm okay with not doing that in that position. My opponent draws a Blizzard. I think they drew a Blizzard. They have Solemn Sirocco, but either way, they have Blizzard and they summon it. And they Goyo. And they take it. I get Swap Frog. I'm actually now thinking about it a little unsure with the timing with this and Goyo. I'm just horrendous with the Dupe Frog timing, as I've always been. Shout out to JGFW and Beast Mode, two of my good friends and test partners, and obviously everyone that plays Edison knows who Beast Mode is because he tops like every event. He's an absolute animal, and if you're not subscribed to his YouTube channel, you should be, because he does the same as this with his tournament runs, and except he tops all of them. So his insight is extremely valuable, and I find myself watching his videos quite often. But right now we're watching my video. So I draw 1-for-1. My opponent has my Dupe Frog, which is unfortunate, but I have Soul Exchange. No Monarchs in sight. Can't do block. We could soft lock, and I think that might be the play, which is a Dupe Frog and a Substitute. Substitute says frog monsters can't die by battle. Dupe Frog says you have to attack it, so we could fast forward through all of that. And so we're looking okay, right? We still have Gores and Faders and stuff, so if he can book this or do something, he can literally like Dupe block me. And we're getting a little scared now, but I think he forgot this lock. So he attacks and nothing happens, and I get my Treeborn back. Again, scary, and again, not drawing Monarchs that we need desperately. So we get Treeborn back, we set Book of Moon, and we just pass. What can we do? We have this nice soft lock. We can't get rid of all of his field without having to get rid of Dupe Frog first, which is a problem. He has a Vayu in there. And now, let's go over the game state real quick. Yes, Sirocco, Shura, both doing nothing. Solemn is excellent. And I guess, yeah, he's just choosing to play it pretty aggressively. And he doesn't even send the Shura. He doesn't even send the Sirocco. He sends a Shura to send a Vayu. So now he has two Vayus in there, so he'll have an Armed Wing. I can't can't even talk, dude. He's going to have an Armor Master and a Silver Wind coming out, is what I'm trying to say. Thank you. But maybe he held the Sirocco so that he could pump something and go for massive pierce damage, maybe? So I'm just sitting on my soft lock. I draw Dust, which I'm unhappy that it's not a Monarch, but happy that it's a Dust Tornado while he has a back row. And tributes his Gruffer for Sirocco. Now I'm thinking I wanted to Dust this. If he drew another back row, it would have been interesting, but he drew, got to play a really good card. So this is where it gets interesting now. This is where it gets super interesting because I believe he's going to Solemn this, and then he's going to get Bora and Special Summon it and use this effect to pump Bora to like 6,000 and run over this for 59 because frogs can't die by battle, but doesn't mean we're not taking damage. I think that is what happens. But we have Book, so we're not going to take that 59. So everyone, relax. No one's taking any damage. He's thinking. He takes Bora, Special Summons it, uses the effect. And that's a ton of damage. Alex... Oh my God, don't watch my videos. I don't know how to play. He can't attack Treeborn Frog. He has to attack Dupe Frog. Man, you don't play for 2 weeks with one deck and you just forget that all the cards do things. So, yeah, he attacks Dupe Frog. And let me get my bearings straight for a second. Let me please bear with me. I could pause the video, but I'd rather you see the real struggles of a duelist live while it's happening. Now, Book of Moon the Bora. Let us examine the game state. 2 Vayus in the grave. This is an armed wing. I have to attack Dupe Frog. He has a Whirlwind. This is what I have. I'm desperately praying for a Monarch. Okay, we're back. Even with a Monarch. Alright, Dust Tornado. This is scary a little bit. We have to figure out how to deal with this, and I think this is the problem card, because this is boosting the Bora. Because they have to attack this, the Bora is not that intimidating without this. So if we get this off the field by soul exchanging it and this for Gores, and they still have to attack this, I think we're in an okay spot. Set Dust Tornado and pass. We could soul exchange this, then he can't really do much. This doesn't have its effect. He still has to attack this and it can't die, so we do get the Bora off the field. I guess Book of Moon effectively does the same thing, because then the Bora could pierce, and if he books his Armed Wing and flips it, it resets and it has piercing, so Sirocco could activate it. So I guess it's not a huge deal either way. I set Dust, and this lock is getting us there right now. And I'm thinking, and this is a big thing, because I have a Dust, and that face down back row, although we want to conserve the Dust Tornado for the Whirlwind, because the Whirlwind's so good, we see a Shura, a Bora, a Sirocco. 2 Siroccos are gone. What's really left? Blizzard? Yeah, Blizzard probably ends the game, right? If this is Icarus attack, then we're in some deep trouble. I think I actually Dust Tornado that face down, which is a little aggressive, but it ends up being the right play. And we draw Light and Darkness Dragon, which is interesting that I kept it in against the Vayu deck, but if used correctly, we could win. Right now, I don't think we could do... I was thinking about this a little bit. I mean, we have to attack Dupe Frog. And I was thinking if I bang out with the Goyo, it's just not... It can't happen, right? Because Goyo's going to attack the Lad, and then it's going to blow up my whole field, and it's ugly. So Lad is just... And he has Vayus. It's just... Lad is just horrendous right now. So I flip my Gores, and I get rid of his Dupe Frog, which is my Dupe Frog. I get my Swap Frog to my hand, and I initiate Phase 1 of coming back in this game. I have my Soft Lock. I could start effectively attacking over his monsters, hoping that he doesn't draw something crazy. He draws a DD Crow. So that's good. So the plan is going accordingly. And my opponent passes and we draw what makes it seem like this game will never end. We will never let our opponent get our life points to 0, except if they're armed doing attacks over a Treeborn Frog for 2,700 while we have 2,700 life points left, like in Game 2. But that's not going to happen this game. And now we're thinking. I'm still thinking about lad things that I don't need to think about. Because this can't get over this. Only this can. And that will kill my field. So there's not much I could do. I have to just keep taking one at a time. He asks if I have anything in damage. And then he lets it die. Okay. So nerve-wracking, but again, soft lock, we're fine. We're okay to do that. I like that, actually, to say damage. Don't let me forget. I could have it. I don't, but I could. 2 DD Crows? I'm tired of taking damage. I'm turning this to defense mode, my opponent says. I draw heavy. Do I want to play it? Not bad if I play it. Get Whirlwind off the field, right? Also, we could try to get a plus with it next turn. What am I going to do? Set Frog? How aggressive do I want to be right here? You know, do I tribute and do the lad play now, attack, lad attack, get a 20? Like, there's just, he has Vayus and things. No reason to do the lad play yet. I am sinking, I am sinking, I am sinking. Big sink, I'm very sorry. And I do Heavy Storm. And we're still just playing our game. But we're at 64, which is really good. We went first. We have 10 to their 4 when they draw. And they have this play in the graveyard. They have 2 plays in the graveyard. So it's really 10 to 6, but plus 4 is still very good. And now my opponent is setting a DD Crow. And finally, with a hot 18 cards left in the deck, we draw an out to Yugioh Guardian. With 2 Swap Frogs in the hand to get Caius back, we finally maybe could see the finish line happening. And I'm trying to make sure everything goes very accordingly with this. And I remove this face-down monster. What a stud. What a stud! And I figure I'm just going to do this 4 times and win? I don't know about that play, Tone. I don't know about that one. I think that could have been one I remove the Caius and I start going for damage. Or I remove the Yugioh, not the Caius. Look at how defensive, dude. Oh, look at how defensive, mommy. That could have been remove, attack, put you at 600. That was literally game. Right? Tribute Treeborn for Caius. Remove the Yugioh. I have a Caius. Pitch Swap Frog for Swap Frog. Gore's attack over this monster. Caius and Swap Frog attack for game. Right? Nope. We Caius, a face down monster. And then we do this. Which, still, we have our lock anyway, even if we do that play. That was definitely the right play. I don't know. I'm just playing super conservative right now, and thank goodness that that's not an Icarus attack, and that's not going to punish us too much. And even if it was, we have 3 friggin' Battle Faders. I'm getting worked up. I don't like when I misplay them. I'm covered. I have my book, and now I got to think about this for another 10 minutes because I let my opponent draw a back row, and now, you know, how good is Caius looking? We put it on the field. Time to get rid of Yugioh Guardian. Time to use Swap Frog, bounce Caius back to my hand, I think. That Caius is invaluable right now. Keep our lock on the field. Attack over that with Frog. Of course, now we get aggressive at this point in the game, and Gores will end the game. Yeah, so not 100% perfect. Not 100% perfect. We got there. Our opponent played very aggressively, and this lock ended up just completely dominating the game and letting us draw a card. We had stall for days. Kind of a misplay to leave this in. everything went the way it was supposed to go, and we finished the day 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. So we need to win 2 more to top, and we will see how those 2 games go in the next one. If you guys like this video and aren't subscribed, please consider. It means a lot to me. I love making these videos, and even when I mess up my own rulings and stuff like that, I do really enjoy making these videos a lot and uploading them, and I've been getting so much positive feedback, and I say that all the time. I sound like a broken record, but it's the truth, and everyone's been so nice, and even running into duelists on Dueling Book now, and they're like, oh, I like the channel and watching your videos and stuff. So all that stuff, it really makes me feel good, and I appreciate it, guys. I just want there to be good vibes in the community, and treat each other well, and I will try to do the same. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.